going on, YouTube? It is your boy Arrows here, and we are talking more Whispers in the Well. We are, of course, going to be looking at the Amethyst offerings from this new set. And just like Amber, I feel like Amethyst got a ton of really cool stuff. This will also be the first color that we're talking about with the new Gargoyles cards, as they are predominantly purple, amethyst, steel, and ruby. So I'm really excited to look at some of those cards. It's going to be really good, a really interesting theme there with the Gargoyles mechanic as well, um, which I think Lorcana has done actually surprisingly really well, which is super exciting. But if you guys missed the Amber set review, I will post the link to that one in the description below. Please check that out. We're going to be doing all of these color combinations, and it's going to be a good time. I'm really excited. Hopefully, you guys will be too. But getting into steel, we have 31. Sorry, not steel. Wow, amethyst. Getting into amethyst. Oh boy, we're off to a great start. We have 31 amethyst cards in this set. I believe when we did Amber, it was 34. So it's looking like everything's going to be roughly around the same area. And honestly, I feel like Amethyst got a lot of good stuff, much like Amber. And actually, like we talked about in the Amber video, much like a lot of colors in this set, got a lot of really cool things to work with. Really looking forward to the next meta. So let's hop into it, starting with, we have a brand new Olaf Helping Hand. When this character leaves play, you may return chosen character of yours to your hand. This is kind of cool. Kind of like a pseudo bounce mechanic on a 1-drop, which is really awesome. You can use this to, like, on a turn 3, challenge into something, bounce your Pete, bounce something else that has an on-play effect. So this is kind of cool, and definitely a different spin on the bouncing character mechanic that has been in Amethyst since set 2. Do we have any bouncing cards? I don't remember. Really interesting. This is definitely something I might be messing around with in the future. The 2-1 stat line is really cool, and being able to bounce another one of your characters is kind of awesome, especially since it is a 2-1 with a hypnotic strength or a Jafar. It can crash into a threat, then give you like a Pete back, like I said, Pete or like Genie or something that you're gonna get another on play effect from when you bring it back, which is kind of cool. In Steel, Pete would be the obvious choice, I think. Coming in, we have our first Horned King. I actually just rewatched Black Cauldron a little bit ago, and man, that is such a good movie. It's just your generic 1-drop 2/2. I believe there is a shifting target in a shift Horned King in this set, so this is a pretty solid intro for that, being able to shift into this in a couple turns later. And a 2/2 stat line is always kind of fun on a 1-drop, so we'll see. Next, we have Iago, Stompin' Mad. Gonna be so angry. He's a 2-cost, a 0/2 with Challenger 5. Now, this is insane. This 2-cost, 0/2, it will be a 5/2 when challenging into stuff. This is really cool. And honestly, this is something that I would run in like a purple steel deck. And I would put something like the Magic Feather or Dumbo, something to give this evasive on a 5/2 crashing into your opponent's stuff is kind of amazing. I really like this. I think you'll see some people messing around with this because, like I said, a 5/2, if you can give this rush, is kind of terrifying. We have our first purple boost in Merlin completing his research. He is a 0/3 2-cost quest for 2. And he boost for 2. So we talked about the boost mechanic in the Amber video. You pay 2 ink, put the top card of your deck underneath Merlin, face down. And then he has the ability, Legacy of Learning. When this character is banished in a challenge, if he had a card under him, draw 2 cards. This has a bunch of potential, I think. We were just talking about like the Iago being like something that you can get good value out of in a challenge. If you can give this thing Challenger, like Challenger 2, crash it into something that has 1, draw 2 cards, that's pretty solid in a color that is already drawing a ton of cards. I definitely could see this being more for Steel Amethyst Oh no, sorry. Yeah, steel. Amethyst. Sorry, amethyst with other colors that don't have a ton of like other draw. Like, and this would be really cool in like amethyst amber or like amethyst ruby. Giving it if you because you can give it rush and give it challenger and crash into something and get a more card draw. I like this card. Will it see a ton of play? Probably not, but it's something that I think you should definitely experiment with. Even if you crash him into something and he's just got a challenger one from a mim. If he takes something out, takes him out, you're still getting 2 cards. The only thing I don't like about it is the uninkable, but honestly, if he was inkable, he'd be incredibly broken. We're into our second Horn King. I like this one. I think stuff leaving. This Horn King specifically, I think branches in really nicely with the Black Cauldron. And if you can like get things out of your discard pile, which Amber does have a ton of cards that will do that outside of the Cauldron. It's 2 cost, 2/2, quest for 2. Its ability, Grand Machinations. During your turn, if one or more cards have left a player's discard this turn, this character gets +2. So it's gonna quest for 3 if something's left. If one or more cards have left your discard, have left a player's discard, not any players, like any discard this turn. This is obviously works really well paired with the Black Cauldron. The Black Cauldron has the ability that you can take a card from your discard pile and put it under the cauldron. This works incredibly well with this, letting you quest for 3. I think an Amethyst recycle deck could be really cool, and it might be something we might build here for the channel and do a video on, which I think would be really, really. But I'm really digging the Black Cauldron card so far, if you couldn't tell. We have a new 3/1 evasive. This is our version of Sir Hiss for purple. Honestly, I feel like this is a good play over some of the pseudo evasives because it is evasive on your turn as well. Yes, the 1 means it's more than likely going to get KO'd on the challenge, but if it quests, it's less likely to be taken out on your turn in a challenge as opposed to say like a Mr. Smee or a Jafar or any of the other 2-drops that are pseudo evasives. I think this might have a play here, and also being a 3 as well, it gives it really good outs to Dumbo, lets you take out Dumbo with it, which is our next boost for Amethyst is the Cheshire Cat, Inexplicable. He's a 3/4, quest for 1, 3-cost inkable, which is super nice. Boost 2, which is, it is what it is. Whenever you put a card under this character, you may move up to 2 damage counters from chosen character to chosen opposing character. This is really solid. This is a cheaper bell that you can do constantly. It doesn't quest for as much, and it has 1 less attack, but it costs 2 less. So if you're not shifting that bell, Aspiring Mystic, you can play this, boost 2. I just guess that still equals 5 anyway, and move 2 damage counters. It's 1 less damage counter, but it's something you can do repeatedly as long as the Cheshire Cat stays alive. In the late game, this could be really, really powerful for Blurple. We have a new Elsa. Elsa Exploring the Unknown. I love the Elsa. I've yet to pull one. She's a 3-cost, 1/3, quest for 1. When you play this character, you may draw a card. Honestly, I feel like this is a really strong shift target for the 8-drop that shifts for 6. You play this on your turn 5, draw a card, play this on and then play the other one on the turn 6, and be able to exert stuff early. I think that's pretty cool. I don't know if it'll see a ton of play, but I like the effect. The art is pretty solid. We have a new Magicka Dispel. Magicka Dispel Shadowy and Sinister. She's a 3/4, quest for 1 as a 3 inkable. When you play this character, you may shuffle a card from chosen player's discard into their deck. I feel like that would also trigger the Horn King. Yeah, so that would also trigger the Horn King, giving it the ability to quest for 3, which is pretty cool. But outside of that, I think there are better ways to trigger the Horn King's effect. This is pretty solid. 3/4 is a good stat line on a 3. It does have an effect that works really well with the Horn King. We'll have to see. Maybe if you're going to build a Horn King and Black Cauldron deck, you could run like 1 or 2 of them. Next up, we have Nana. Canine Caregiver, 3/3, quest for 1. When you play this character, you may choose and discard a chosen may choose and discard a card to return chosen character with cost 2 or less to their player's hand. This is really cool and ironically enough plays into the gargoyle mechanic because for the gargoyles to be able to ready at the start of your turn, you have to have less than 3 cards in your hand. So you play this, you discard a card. If you inked a card, that's 3 cards out of your hand to be able to return a chosen character with cost 2 or less to their player's hand. I don't really know what you would want to return with this card. Like on your opponent's side, you can maybe get a daisy off the field to stop them from doing some massive questing on your next turn. It's a very interesting card, and I would like to see what people do with it. And again, the ability kind of inadvertently feeds the gargoyles as well. There helps the gargoyles ability as well, which is super helpful. Right here. We have a new Lena Saberwing. I love that DuckTales got in this set. I think the DuckTales characters have been very underutilized outside of like the one Scrooge. And the Donald that sees some play, but Donald's not really a DuckTales character. He's just there. So it's nice to see the DuckTales getting some more love in this set. We have a new Lena Saberwing card, a 4-cost 3/3 quest for 2. The ability Arcane Connection. When you play this character, if you have a character or location in play with a card under them, gain 1 lore. That is pretty solid. Again, the way this is worded, I feel like that would also count shifting. So if you've shifted something and played this card, you will also gain the lore. But then, like I said in the Amber video, do not take my word for that. There are many more knowledgeable Lorcana players out there than myself that might rule differently on that. But being able passive lore is something that purple Amethyst does very well. And this is just another really good card for that. If you've boosted, there are some really strong Amethyst boost cards that I think you could definitely run in a lot of decks. And being able to gain some extra lore out of this on a 4/3/3 that quest for 2 itself, really good. We have our next champion, our Amethyst champion, Minnie Mouse. I think this and Pluto are probably the best 2 champions out of all of the colors. But that is not to say that the other ones are bad. Like I said, in the Amber video, I believe all these effects are good. Some of them are better than others, but they're all good. There's not a bad ink champion in this set. And Minnie continues that. It's a 4-cost, which is awesome. It is a 2/3, which is decent. Quest for 2, but it has a great ability. Whenever one of your other Amethyst characters is banished in a challenge, you may draw a card. If you play this and you take something out, get an extra card. In Infinity, this would be amazing in the Amethyst Steel deck because you play Fox, challenge into something. If Fox gets banished, you draw a card. You took something out. This is a really good card, and I think much like the other champions, I don't know if they were designed like this or if it was just something that's a happy accident. They're both strong inclusions in core constructed decks of those colors, and they're also strong inclusions in Amethyst. In Infinity decks of those colors because their effects are just really strong. This one is no different. I love the art. I love the effect. The stat line is fine on a 4-drop for what it's doing. If it had a better stat line, it'd be seriously broken. And I love that they're all rare, which means they're hopefully going to be easy to pull multiple copies of. Next, we have a Mushu, generic 4/4, quest for 2 for 4. This will see some play, and this will be a good card to pull in like Pack Rush or like Sealed, but it's definitely limited, I guess I should say, but it's definitely not something you want in Constructed. Nibs, the Lost Boy, 3/3, quest for 2. When this character is banished in a challenge, return this card to your hand. We have other effects like this that don't really see a ton of play. So, again, another thing that could be really good in like a limited format or like a draft or Pack Rush, but definitely not in core construction. Next, we have our shift target, the Horn King. This is a strong card. It is a 4-cost, 3/4. Look at that. He's got the cauldron. A quest for 2. He's a shift 2, which is amazing. You can play this on your turn 2. if you wanted to. I don't know if I'd play him on the turn 2. I'd probably play one of the Horn Kings, get something off with their effect first, and then play into this. Because the 2-drop Horn King will technically be questing for more if you're able to constantly be working with your graveyard. Discard, wrong game. But this one has a really good ability too. Arise. Whenever one of your other characters is banished in a challenge, you may return that card to your hand, then choose and discard a card. This is really cool with some big characters because we talked about the Black Cauldron yesterday, being able to tap, pay 1 to bring one of the characters in the cauldron, to bring as many characters in the cauldron out as you want. You could use this to put a high cost card into the cauldron and then play it on your next turn for free. So you can discard the card, tap the cauldron, put the card you discarded into the cauldron, which if you have another Horn King out, the 2-drop will trigger that ability to quest for 3, and then on your next turn you can play that big card and put it out though for that color, but for that cost, although the tap in the 1. I feel like this is why the cauldron is amber and not another color, because there will be some ridiculously good big steel cards. I'm looking at you, 10-drop Mickey, looking at you, 9-drop Goofy, although I think you're Infinity, that you could easily pop out for dirt cheap with the cauldron and this card combination. I'm actually going to be building an Amethyst Steel Reanimator style deck. Sorry, not Amethyst, Amber. I do this a lot. An Amber Steel Reanimator style deck in this. I'm super excited for. But I love this card. I love the art. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. That is chef's kiss. And then, what good is the king without his loyal servants, the Cauldron-born? Mindless Horde, 5-drop, 6/7, quest for 1. Again, you're probably not gonna play this in core outside of like a Black Cauldron deck, because you could theoretically put this in the cauldron and then bring it out for 1 later on, which is insane, especially with a 6/7 stat line. I definitely think the Black Cauldron is going to change how we feel about these like generic giant cards, because the cauldron definitely allows us to play them earlier and play them in mass. I'm super excited for this theme. But yeah, generic 6/7, quest for 1. Big boys doing big boy things. Next, we're into our first gargoyle card that does not have the gargoyle mechanic. If you guys are familiar with the TV show, you know that Cold Stone is not a typical gargoyle, and that he was born from might and sorcery, magic and science. Ugh, words. So he does not turn to stone during the day. But he is a 5-drop, 5/4, quest for 2. When you play this character, if you have 2 or more gargoyles in your discard, you gain 2 lore. This is actually super cool. I like this ability. I feel like, I don't know if purple is the way to go with the gargoyles though, because I feel like Demona, her effect is more suited to like non-gargoyle decks, the cool one. But I definitely think you could run it with Amethyst Steel as well. But I definitely feel like Ruby Steel is more into the gargoyles area, because you can do a lot with like challenge aspects. A lot of them are like super big. But again, there are people out there more knowledgeable in the realm of Lorcana than I that maybe have already been cooking up spicy lists for gargoyles, and I'm super excited to see them. But this is a really good card. Gaining 2 lore just for something as simple as having 2 gargoyles in your discard pile is kind of amazing. It's got one of the best lines from Gargoyles, Thanatos, when he brings them back. It's uninkable, but honestly, if this was inkable, it would be stupidly good. Then we have Gwythaint, the Savage Hunter. You like Elsa? I like Elsa. This is kind of a weaker, also kind of a stronger version of Elsa. It's a 5-drop like Elsa, 4/3, so better attack, weaker willpower, quest for 2, which is better than Elsa. It has Swooping Strike. Whenever this character quests, each opponent chooses and exerts one of their ready characters. So this also helps you bring into stuff. This doesn't have Rush, which is where I think Elsa is just a little bit better. But if you have ways to give this Rush, this is an incredibly dangerous card in the Amethyst Steel package. Like even without the rush, it is still an incredibly dangerous card in the Amethyst Steel package and the Amethyst Sapphire package as well. More so, I feel like in Amethyst Steel, which likes to challenge more to get stuff off the board, but still a really good card in Amethyst. Well, in any Amethyst color combination that is heavy on evasive. I have a friend, Seamus, who runs Amethyst Emerald as a combination with heavy evasive. This would be amazing in that deck. So definitely really cool stuff, and I'm loving all the Black Cauldron. Then we have, in my opinion, tied up there with Rapunzel, one of the best legendaries in this set. We're of course talking about Hades, looking for a deal. This card is going to see play in every color combination that has Amethyst in it. It is really good. It's a 5-cost inkable, which is awesome. 3/4, pretty solid stat line. Quest for 1, but it has the ability, what do you say? When you play this character, you may choose an opposing character. So you choose the character. If you do, draw 2 cards, unless that character's player puts that card on the bottom of their deck. So I think this is going to see the most play in Amethyst Steel and Amethyst Ruby and Amethyst Sapphire, because they have other ways of getting rid of that problem character on top of this. So what's going to happen is you're either going to give me 2 cards and keep your character and risk me drawing into, say, if I'm playing Steel, I personally run Smash, Strength of Raging Fire, Fire the Cannons, something else that's going to get rid of that character that I want to get rid of anyway. Or you're going to get rid of that character to deny me the 2 cards, which in Amethyst isn't that huge of a deal already, because we're already drawing so many other cards with Dumbo, Finders Keepers, Genie. Like, we're already drawing a ton of cards in that color as well. If we're playing with Steel, we're already drawing cards off of Scar. If we're playing the ally, the more ally based version that won the world championships, won the DLC, sorry, not the world champion. This is a really good card. This is a really good card. And yes, it is a deity, and there are deity destroying things in this game, in this set now. But who cares? He comes out, he does something. You might get the quest with him, you might not, but he's still giving you instant. He's still giving you an instant good effect. Either way, you're either getting rid of a problem character, or you're getting to draw 2 cards and potentially still getting rid of that problem character. So Hades is definitely up there with my like top legendary from the set. It's Hades and Rapunzel so far. I like doing these videos because I really get to talk about the cards that we really like, and I'm really excited for this Hades. I think he's a 4 of 100%. At least a 3 or 4 of in almost every deck that runs Amethyst. We have, I'm missing a Demona. We'll have to look. I feel like I'm missing a Demona. We have Magica Dispel, Spiteful Sorceress. 3/6, 5, quest for 2. Whenever you put a card under one of your characters or locations, you may move 1 damage counter from chosen character to chosen opposing character. This is definitely more tailored to boost, because yeah, shift doesn't work like that. You're putting a card on top, whereas this one when you have the card under, you'll get to move the damage counter. Pretty solid. There are better damage counter movers out there. Bell, we already talked about one earlier in this video. Where'd they go? In the Cheshire Cat. So not terrible, not the best. We have our third Whisper character for Amethyst in Ursula. Whisper of Vanessa, 4/5, quest for 2, 5-drop inkable. Boost 1, which is I think the cheapest one we've seen so far. So you put the top deck on face down. While there's a card under this character, she gets +1 and gains evasive. So that's evasive all the time and +1. So she's going to be questing for 3 out of 5 and have evasive. This is a really good card. I definitely see this being played in Blurple. I definitely see this being played in Amethyst Steel, Amethyst Emerald. You could get away with running this. Amethyst Ruby. Who doesn't love something questing for a ton of damage with a big willpower that you can put damage counters on for the Hades, the Madam Mims, the Mother Gospels, that the dual colors of those cards do. The dual cards of those colors, yes, do, fantastic card. Really good card. And it's a rare. Another great rare. A lot of the rares in this set are super good. We have Creeper, the Loyal Lackey, 5/4, Quest for 4. It's a 6-drop. This is really good in your pack rush, your draft, your sealed fun stuff. Definitely not in a constructed form. That's unless you're, I'll rephrase, unless you're playing with cards that give you lore based off of something you have on the field, then this could be pretty good. Cards that like do something with a character and then you gain lore based off of that, this would be really good to play against. Not really so much on par with. This is a rare, which kind of sucks. It is what it is. Demona makes another play for a strong legendary in this set. She's a 6-drop. She's a 5/6, Quest for 2. She Gargoyle. And she does have the Gargoyle ability. If you have 3 or more cards in your hand, this character can't ready. I don't actually know if she should have this ability, because if you're familiar with Gargoyles, you know that pretty early into the show, and not pretty early, probably like halfway through season 1, she becomes human in the day instead of turning to stone. But whatever, I'm nitpicking. This is a really good card. Add Sexum Komute. When you play this character, exert all opposing characters. Then each player with fewer than 3 cards in their hand draw cards till they have 3. This helps you really work around the Stone by Day ability, because you have less than 3 cards in your hand. She readies. Then you play. Then that doesn't work. I guess it would work with the other Gargoyles if you already have them out. Then you play her, draw 3 cards, make your plays, end your turn with less than 3 cards in your hand. All your Gargoyles ready on your next turn. Really good card. She exerts all opposing characters. Like, I feel like she's going to be really strong in the Gargoyle deck, but I also feel like she's just going to be really strong in Amethyst Steel that loves to challenge. And maybe as like a one of an Amethyst Sapphire, because she does make it so you can do a lot of cool exerted things with the some of the new Sapphire cards that we'll talk about when we do that video. But I think this is really good. This is another really strong contender for a legendary of this, for like a legendary of this set. Legendary. And then we have a bit of a disappointment ending off our characters for this video. We have Magicka Dispel Conniving Sorceress. She's a 7-cost, 7/7, Quest for 1, Shift for 7. So we saw this with Go-Go Tomago and the Little Prince Mickey in set 9, where you have a card that has a cost, and it also has a shift cost that is either equal to or more than its regular cost. Now, the Go-Go and the Mickey were both really good. The Magicka, not so much. When you play this character, if you shift to play her, you may draw 4 cards. If she was like 1 or 2 less for cost and shift, or maybe if she was inkable, I could see running a couple copies of this with like some of the damage moving Magicka Dispels. But the issue with this is there's a better card that's inkable, costs 2 less. Yes, it gives you 1 less card, but it's inkable and it costs 2 less, and that is in Finders Keepers. And also, Amethyst is not lacking for draw. We have Dumbo giving all your evasive characters that ability. We have Genie. We have Finders Keepers, which I just talked about. We have Sonic Strength. We have a ton of draw options in this color. If this card was any other color beside Amethyst, I think, because those colors do lack for card draw. But because all the Magickas are in this color combination, I definitely think it is not a very good card. It's a super rare, which is wild to me. But I definitely not good. Like, it wouldn't be good in limited sealed pack rush. It's just not a good card. I would have personally made this a rare and maybe made Coldstone a super rare, or maybe made Ursula a super rare. Like, there's definitely a better slot for this super rare spot than this Magicka Dispel. Then we have a Swooping Strike. Each opponent chooses and exerts one of their ready characters. Love this card. Love the art. A 1-cost that exerts is really good. Will it see play? I don't know, but it is a really, really good card. We have a 2-cost performance review. I actually really like this card. An action chosen ready character of yours draws cards equal to that character's lore. We were actually just talking about Creeper being 4, but not being that strong of a card. But you could use this to tap it to gain a free 4 lore. Kind of cool, but again, there are other options out there. This is interesting. I don't know how much play it will see. We have Be Gone. Return chosen character, item, or location with cost 3 or less to their player's hand. This is pretty cool. We've seen 3-cost stuff that bounces characters being really good with the Mana Min package from Rise of the Floodborn. Fox coming in, bouncing something, having rush. This is those abilities in an action form, which isn't terrible. I don't know if this fits into the Amethyst Steel or Amethyst Sapphire, but you could run it in Amethyst with any other colors. This would be really cool with a lot of stuff with that, with a lot of colors that have on turn effects, on play effects, like Mickey Detective or some of the detective characters that do that. So that'd be pretty cool. I don't think any of them are purple though. But yeah, it's okay. It's not great, but it's okay. Then we're into our 2 songs for the set. Fragile as a Flower. This card is going to be good. This card is going to see play in Blurple. This card might see some play in Amethyst Steel. This card will see play in most other color combinations with Amethyst because it's really freaking good. 3-cost song, so a character 3 or more can sing it. Draw a card, always good. Exert chosen character with cost 2 or less. Goodbye, Madam Mim, Tiny Surfer, the tiny adversary that people don't usually exert unless they can guarantee that it won't die. Goodbye, Calhoun. Posing evasive characters that you want that are pseudo evasives that you want to get rid of before they can be used with Gumbo. They can't ready at the start of the next turn. Good card. Really, really good card. We'll see a lot of play, I think. And then Can't Hold It Back Anymore. This is just another really good card. It's uninkable, which is probably a good thing to be super, super broken if it wasn't. 4-cost, exert chosen opposing character. Move all damage counters from other characters to that character. This is a pretty good card if you're challenging a lot. A lot of times in Amethyst, you will see weaker characters like Genie and Elsa challenge into characters that they can't kill, but can't kill them, and then you'll see Belle come down to move that damage. This is another really great way of doing that, except for you'll get to move all of that damage to that character, which is super, super fun. And it also has a really cool Enchanted. Then we have the Grimorum Arcanorum. At first glance, I thought this card was going to be super, super good, and it is really, really good. Docternia Adursi. I'm bad at pronouncing this. During your turn, whenever an opposing character becomes exerted, gain 1 lore. That's really good. This pairs really well with Demona, who exerts everything. So you gain a lot of lore like that. Your character's name Demona gain rush, which is okay. Like it's not, that part's not the greatest. I think this card is really good. I think it'll see play if your deck is heavy on exerting. Blurple could run a couple copies of this because when you play Ursula, the one that exerts a character to sing, you'd exert that character, gain your lore, and then play your song, which would be really, really cool. Demona obviously is a strong part of thing for this. Anything that exerts, exerting is becoming very strong again, which I think is really awesome. This card, it could see some play. It's not as good as I initially thought it was, but it does have a lot of popular aspects. Honestly, I probably would have made this the super over Magica. Then we have Dumbo as a location. We have the Great Illuminary, Abandoned Laboratory. It's a 2-cost, 1 to move, 3. I like this. It's not gonna see a lot of play, and it's not gonna see a lot of play because it's only 3. It has a great ability, and it gains you a lore. Don't get me wrong, unless I'm wrong. I could be wrong, but honestly, most purple decks aren't running the library anymore. which is, in my opinion, kind of better than this because it has a bit more defense, so it will hopefully live a little bit longer. And it's still going to draw you a card when stuff gets banished from it, but this is only 3. So it's not going to be around for very long. Like, if I see this get dropped, I'm going to go out of my way to blow it up. But characters here gain tap to draw a card, which is a good effect, and I love the effect. But the fact that it's only 3 really means that it's probably going to take an early powder. Amethyst Steel, they either run Hook or they run Happy for that turn 1. You play Hook on this, you play Hook, your opponent's not going to play this. It's going to get KO'd very easily. I don't see it being very good. I hope I'm wrong because I love the card, but I just don't see it being very good. And that is our Amethyst package coming in. Whispers in the Well. I still feel like I'm missing a Demona. Let's check. I feel like I'm missing a Demona. It's going to bother me now. If I am, I'm going to look because I feel like I am missing a Demona. You guys get to watch me crash out because I did something. Yes, I am. I knew I was. We're missing this Demona. A 4-cost, 4/6, Challenger +2. If you have 3 or more cards in your hand, this character can't ready. Not terrible, not great. It's a common, so it is what it is. Challenger 2 on a 4-cost is kind of good, making a 6/6. Having 3 or more cards in your hand without having like a really groundbreaking effect, not so much. But there you go. That is our Amethyst review for set 10. Let me know what you guys think. I personally feel like, for the most part, Amber's gotten, in my opinion, more good stuff than Amethyst did, which that's not to say that Amethyst did not get like amazing stuff. This Merlin could see some play. All the Horned King stuff makes for a really cool Reanimator Black Cauldron deck, which I think is really neat. Mini is tied up there with Pluto as, in my opinion, the best champion. This Hades is just freaking amazing. This Demona is really good as well. Amethyst got a lot of really good stuff. Amber's gotten a lot of really good stuff. I'm really excited to delve into the next 4 colors with you guys. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, ding the notification bell if you want to be alerted. I'm at 94 subs on YouTube. I would love to hit 100 by the end of the year. Please, please, please help me get there. If you enjoy the content, tell your friends, retweet the videos, do the things, do more of the things. Stay safe out there, my friends. Go play some card games. They're always a ton of fun, especially Disney Lorcana. Whispers in the Well is definitely going to shake up the format in all of the best ways, and I'm super excited for it. And as always, friends, stay safe out there. I will see you. I see you. Bye.